right, thanks a lot there, Chris. Of course, we are in a moderate drought right now. It's dry out there, and Louise Bhavani is here with Charlotte Water. Louise, good to have you with us here, and we hope you can tell us some things that we can do to help in this situation here. And we were just talking a moment ago off camera about California's situation versus North Carolina's situation as far as dry weather goes. The difference being?
Well, it's really important to kind of understand the distinction. We are in a drought. We're in a moderate drought, but we're not necessarily anywhere near the conditions in California. But it is going to be really important for all of us to start thinking about voluntary water conservation, especially because we do not want to escalate into a stage 2, which means there are mandatory restrictions, and nobody wants mandatory.
So what do we need to do in regard to this voluntary water conservation effort? So
the highest residential use of water is irrigation. And people need to know that watering your lawn in the middle of the day, you're going to lose a lot of that water to evaporation. We're encouraging folks to only water their lawns if they have to on Tuesdays or Saturdays, and also between the hours of 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. because those are the best times to eliminate evaporation, and also to not put a stress on our water system. Oh,
really? Okay. So how much water can we conceivably save by doing this? Because a lot of people say, oh, look, I'll do it if everybody else. I mean, what do we need to do? How much do we need to conserve to save?
We're looking for folks to do a 3 to 5% reduction, which is about, if it's a regular family who uses about 7 CCFs, that's about 157 to 215 gallons. And it can be pretty easily done. One of the things I'm encouraging folks to do if you have kids is to make it a game. Who can take the shortest shower, you know, have some prizes, reusing some of the water that's just coming out of your tap so that it'll, you know, so you can take it to be warm, and watering your plants, and then also checking for leaks. That's a really important thing that people don't think about because it is something you don't see. If you've got a leak, you're probably going to be paying for that water, so that means high water bills and you're wasting water. So it's kind of a win-win. Check those leaks in your toilet and through your system, and then hopefully we can get those fixed, and that's just less water being put out in the system.
Louise, I want to ask you, you may not be a yard expert per se, but if we didn't water our grass, what's really going to happen to that? I've heard some folks talk about the grass just goes into a dormancy. You're not killing it by not watering it, or what are your thoughts on that?
No, I'm not an expert on grass, but I would assume that it's going into a dormancy. But I would check with turf experts on that.
Talk to somebody about that, but you do want to conserve as much. And right now, what would be the earliest that we might have to consider a mandatory water restrictions?
Well, traditionally, the Drought Management Advisory Group determines what stage we're in at the beginning of each month. We did make an unprecedented decision to declare stage 1 during the middle of July because we were getting close to those conditions. Things are escalating pretty quickly. We can't necessarily speculate, but we're just hoping that folks will conserve as much as possible. We've got about 800,000 customers within the system. If you can just use a little bit less water and then also do a little rain dance.
That'll work, I'm sure. Louise, we've run out of time, but we appreciate it. Good advice. Think about it. Conserve water. We'll be back right after this.